More curly girl interviews. Hey there, guys. Can y'all tell that I am running out of ways to intro this? I am so sorry. But if y'all have been hanging out with me for a little while, y'all will know that for the past little bit, I have been taking a small little maternity break. I am snuggling our brand new sweet baby girl. And in the interim, I thought we would have a whole lot of fun doing these curly girl interviews. I have had the opportunity over the past several weeks to talk to a lot of my wavy curly hair friends. They are awesome for sharing their knowledge and their curly hair journey with us because everybody's hair is a little bit different. I've done everything I can to share all the tips and tricks I can think of that have worked for me and my hair type. And so now we're getting to hear from a bunch of other people. There we go. Today, we are talking to the lovely Miss Lindsey. I have known her for quite a while now, and her hair is very unique and very specific. A lot of the standard tips and tricks that work for the majority of people don't necessarily work for her. And you may be just like Lindsey. So I think you're going to find a lot of benefit from this interview. I'll quit rambling now. Let's get into it. Hey there, Lindsey. How are you?
I'm great, Courtney. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on and hanging out today and sharing your curl journey with us.
Well, thank you. Thank you for asking me. I'm super excited about it.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in humid Houston, Texas, windy also. So that has been fun dealing with hair with this. But I live in Houston and I live a very busy lifestyle and just always trying to try new things with my hair to accommodate everything and constant journey with that. I am a professional actor and singer, and I also do interpreting for ASL. So I'm a little all over the place.
You do all the things.
I do all the things.
So can you describe your hair type?
I'm constantly finding out new things about it, but it is what you call the type 2C to 3A with some 3B thrown in there. My hair is very dry. Like it craves moisture all the time. I usually don't need very much protein. I have to deep condition a little more often. I have to use products that have more moisture in it because it's just more dry. My skin's more dry, so my hair is naturally more dry.
That makes sense.
Yes. So I actually kind of discovered that this past year. So it's like, oh, I need to add more moisture to my hair. But other than that, it's very fine, very fine. It looks like I have a ton of it, which I do, but it's all very fine hair. So it doesn't always want to hold the curl super well. So I do have to use products that have a stronger hold so that it will last a little bit longer. I didn't even know I really had curly hair until, say, puberty. So
Yeah.
because I had it when I was a baby and then it kind of just went away and it looked like kind of a little wavy, but other than that it was straight. And then puberty happened and boom, I was like, what do I do with this? So it's been a constant journey trying to figure out what it wants.
That is really cool. You are very unique in the fact that your hair is very fine and doesn't like a whole lot of protein. That is unusual because, as a general rule, finer hair that is like smaller in diameter doesn't crave as much moisture. It craves more protein. But like you said, your skin is really dry. And so your scalp is skin. And so if it's not going to produce a whole lot of oil or sebum, that would lend to your hair being more dry as well. Is your hair 100% virgin hair? Is this your natural hair color, or do you add some color?
So I do have some leftover hair color from about 3 years ago. I think it's about from here on down, but it blends in really well. So did have virgin hair up to that point, but I haven't touched my hair with any sort of dyes or bleaches in about 3 years because I'm trying to let it all grow out naturally again. Because I did a lot of damage when I did some bleaching, and also my hairstylist who didn't know how to maybe properly dye curly hair, it just ended up ruining it, and was breakage, and finally I just chopped it all off and tried to get rid of a lot of the dead ends. But so maybe I don't know, 40% of my hair is version, maybe 50 if
Do
is
you
version.
notice any difference between the bottom half and the top half? Do they behave any differently?
Actually, believe it or not, no. Now, the very, very ends, I noticed that they can get a little bit more crispy looking, even if I barely put
Kind
any.
of like this.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
I tried damp styling today and my hair's not dry yet and I couldn't scrunch out the crunch. So that's why I'm looking super cute. Anyway, sorry. Please
No,
continue.
it's super adorable. I love it. So I had to be very careful not to put as much hair product on the bottoms. It's not that I have split ends. It's just those ends
Interesting.
get even drier
Yeah.
fast. So I have to be extra careful when I'm drying my hair because I use a diffuser, but I've been trying to use the hover diffuser method, and that's been helping not to keep as much heat on my ends as long. And I
Yeah.
have to put much more conditioner on my ends to be able to help that. But that's kind of the only difference I've seen because there's a few like blonder pieces at the bottom. The lighting's not the best to show, but most of my hair is about the same color now.
That's awesome. What got you interested in wearing your hair wavy curly in the first place?
So as I mentioned earlier, I was born with curly hair, or should I say when my hair decided to start coming in at age 2, then I had curly hair.
Yeah.
And I've always had it. I've always liked it. And when I got a little older, just kind of fell out, like, elementary school age. And then when puberty happened, I started seeing more waves. And as the coming years, I started seeing more curls. And I never thought, oh, I hate this, I want to straighten my hair. I've always wanted to just let it do whatever you want to do, but I didn't know how to take care of it. I
Yeah.
didn't even know there was a way that you needed to take care of your curly hair versus straight hair.
Yeah.
And I one day saw the Curly Girl handbook in a bookstore. It was like a used bookstore, and I'm like, what is this? And that kind of opened the whole new world of, oh, I am not taking care of my curly hair at all. Maybe this is why I have so much frizz, or my curls not wanting to stay, or whatnot. And I started that, and slowly throughout college, I discovered new things. And of course, I've been discovering new things over the last several years, getting to see YouTube channels like yours, Courtney, and kind of just saying, okay, well, this seems to work for them. Let's try this on my hair and see if this works, or tweak it or whatnot. But I've always loved my curly hair. I don't ever straighten it. I don't like myself looking with straight hair. It doesn't look like me. Most people told me, no, we like your curls. Don't ever straighten your hair.
That's another question I have for you because your situation is unique in that you're an actress and hair, like you don't always get to choose what your hair looks like, how you wear your hair, etc. How has that affected your curls and whatnot?
I've been blessed in the fact that I haven't ever been told you have to wear your hair straight, because I had
Wow.
always had directors who's like, hey, we want this particular style. I'll tell them, that's great. You're going to have to put me in a wig because my hair does not do this naturally. It's not going to look nice. And most theaters, they do use wigs because then your hair looks consistent for every single show. Because as we all know, hair is like a personality. Some days it's like, I don't want to curl. Other days we're going to kind of do this and then kind of do something
Yeah.
over here. Other days, glorious curls. You never know. And
So for consistency's sake, they use a wig, and that has kind of like helped you move around any of the issues that could come with like, oh, we need you to be blonde and straight for this role.
oh yes. And that's usually a question is like, are you okay with your hair being dyed? And I'm like, no, I'm not dyeing my hair for a role, because I know just how my hair has reacted to a lot of dye before. And so I'm kind of like, because this role is going to
Yeah.
end eventually, and I have to deal with my hair after that. But yeah, I wear wigs, but I have also a lot of directors like, we love your curls, we want to use them. And so sometimes I've had to use on a few days like a curling iron to be able to kind of help a few little wonky pieces to
Right.
look like the rest of the hair. But other than that, I've actually used my natural hair in a couple of roles, and it's really been nice to get to just wear my hair naturally curly.
That is so cool. What has been one of the biggest obstacles that you've had to think through, work through when it comes to figuring out what your hair likes and doesn't like?
Well, I'm currently still in that because there's some things I've been able to figure out, and other things my hair is like, no, we're going to remain a mystery for a little bit. It is my dryness and my frizziness. And I always thought, okay, is it just because I'm not giving it enough moisture? But even with me using a lot of moisture, my hair still is more on the drier side. And as I said, living in humid, windy South Texas doesn't exactly help anything. But it's been a constant battle trying to find things. And a lot of days I'll just embrace it. Like today, I'm just a little more fluffier than I might be, say, on day two. My day two hair might look more like yours, whereas a little more flat. Um,
Interesting.
it depends because I slept on it. As I said, my hair does not want to hold the curl as well as someone who maybe have a thicker curl pattern. Because my hair's thin, it falls out a little easier.
That's what our good old wavy hair does. It kind of just stretches out until the next wash day.
Exactly. And I usually can make my hair last if I have a really good styling day and the weather is good. And I usually can last about 3 days with curls. By day three, I'm looking a little crunchy. But I have to be careful not to apply too much hair product on. I'm refreshing, but by day four is like, nope, gotta wash it. And then sometimes day three, I'm like, you're going up in a bun or a braid, so I don't have to mess with you. But that's been the huge our obstacle is just finding products that work well with my hair, especially with hold. Some hair products have just too much of a hold. Like for example, the kinky, not kinky curly, you did a review on it recently.
Uncle Funky's daughter.
Uncle Funky's daughter, yes. That one, it's just, it leaves my hair so stiff and stringy, and I can never scrunch all of it
Well,
out.
apparently it's had a lot of protein in it for a long time that wasn't disclosed on the label. So that's possible. If your hair hates protein, I mean, that tracks,
I would track. And I lost my train of thought. But yes, so the Uncle Funky's curl, that doesn't work well on mine. It just leaves it super, super thick and just crunchy and such. But I use like Jessie curl, and that seems to consistently work well with my hair, but I still can't use too much. Otherwise it'll look all
that
crunchy.
stuff is really concentrated.
It is, which is why I always pair it and actually have the products with me. I have the pinky curling custard that I use, but this is so thick I can't use like a ton of it. I also can't use like the Shea Moisture butters and stuff like that. That's just too thick on my hair. So it's like constantly trying to figure out which products my hair likes and some that it doesn't. And yeah, it's just trial and error, but that's been my biggest obstacle. And I think I'm going to be stuck in that obstacle for a little while, which is fine because my, hair constantly changes. And
Yeah.
it's still behaving. It looks good. So
your hair looks so good today. You are having a great hair day. And you're so right. Your hair is constantly evolving. You never completely 100% figure it out, because about the time that you do, you either go through another hormone shift, because women apparently go through hormone shifts every 7 years, and the weather will change. And maybe you decided you needed to color it because you got the urge to color it. And so, your hair is constantly changing a little bit. So I don't think there's anyone out there ever that's got it 100% figured out all the time. What is your travel routine like? Because you've been wearing your curls for a very long time. Have you made what does it look like when you travel?
So you're going to laugh at me because I really don't do anything different on my travel routine. Like everything I do at home, I do on like vacations and things like that. I will just obviously take my products in smaller bottles, but I love my, my hair dryer and my microfiber, a perfect hair care towel and my pillowcase, my silk pillowcase. I take all of that with me, so I don't change anything up. I don't typically deep condition on my vacations, or I don't always use my dim-in brush. Sometimes I will use my dim-in brush as well, just to get a different look or whatnot. Today I didn't, it was just scrunch and go. But besides that, I just kind of just do what I normally do at home. And that seems to work pretty well for me, unless I know for a fact I really don't want my curls for whatever reason. Like I went on a hiking trip for 10 days. And a majority of that trip, it was up in a bun or in a braid because I was out hiking and it was hot. But if I know I'm going to go on a trip where I'm going to need to go out and on a town or something like that, I'm more inclined to make sure I wear my curls every single day.
That is really cool. You know, we've done a few of these curly girl interviews so far, and I'm getting to pick everybody's brain about their travel routine. And I get answers from, I don't bring a single hair care product with me because I wash my hair before I leave, and then I don't wash it until I get back, to people like you and me who just take the products that we like and we just do the routine when we travel, and we just try and shove as many of the products in little bottles as we can. Because, you know, there's the shampoo, the conditioner, the leave-in conditioner, the gel, the hair dryer, the silk pillowcase, all the things. But it's worth it to me to go ahead and take those because I can make my hair the way I have envisioned in my brain. For the most part anyway. How often do you have to wash your hair? Every 3 days ish?
Every 3 days, unless it's just having a temper tantrum and we're like, okay, we're gonna have to do it after 2 days, or I'm like sweating a whole lot. That's another thing with my acting. I do a lot of musical theater, which means I also dance. And so there are some rehearsals where it's like you are dancing the entire time. Like I had a rehearsal.
Your hair, you could wring it out because it's so sweaty. Yeah.
It can get so nasty. I'm like, oh, I have to wash this. And so I just make sure I try to, if I know I'm going to have a rehearsal like that, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to wash it this day. So I know it's ready to be washed by that day. So I don't wake up that morning and have beautiful curls. I'm like, oh, great, got to put it up. And because I'm gonna be sweaty the next, that evening or whatever. But about every 3 days is fairly consistent. If I wash it if I wash it less than that, my hair gets even drier. If I try to make it stretch, I have sometimes been able to stretch it to 5 days. That's very rare, but that's usually my hair up and my scalp is itching like crazy because it's dry. So about 3 days is my happy place.
That's a good happy place. What is the best piece of advice that you would give someone who is just beginning to look into wearing their hair wavy curly?
There's obviously a lot, but I guess my best piece of advice is to not try to just totally deep dive into everything because there's so much. And you're like, I've been doing this, like I've been trying to consistently do the right thing for my hair, the healthy part of thing for my hair for about, I think almost 10 years now, where I was like, oh, I need to do actually something for my curly hair. So it's been about 10 years. It's a constant journey, and I'm going to continue to journey through that as well. But for a beginner, it can just be so overwhelming with, oh, I need to know my hair type, and I need to know the porosity. I need to know, do I style this way, or should I use this hairstyle, or should I use this? It's so overwhelming. And I know you've covered this in a couple of your videos as well. But number one thing is to just embrace the curly journey you're about to go on and take it one little step at a time. You've mentioned in some of your videos of like just making sure you're clearing your bathroom of your soaps and your conditioners that had all the chemicals, or at least trying to have as less amount of chemicals in it as possible, and trying to just start your hair off fresh as you are making this journey. Microfiber towels are 100% do that. I didn't stop using microfiber, actually like regular towels until maybe college. And like, oh, that makes a huge difference. And just
it really does.
Yes, even a satin or a silk pillowcase. I didn't start using that until about 2 years ago. That was a huge game changer about how much longer that allowed my hair to even last because it wasn't
Yeah.
breaking up as much. Um, but those two things, finding one hairstyle, one hairstyle product that works well. Just starting off with that is another thing. And then, of course, stop straightening your hair. Just let your hair just kind of start to embrace the curls. It's going to be a little wonky at first, but just let it embrace it. And I had another little thing, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But that's like the biggest thing. Most people I've talked to who do not have curly hair, they love to look at people with curly wavy hair and they're like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I constantly curl my hair just to have it look like that, or permed. People love to have curly wavy hair. And I know a lot of curlies are like, no, I hate my hair. It's a mess, or it's wonky over here. But you have no idea that other people love curly hair. And so just embrace it. People love it. And you're going to just learn some things along the way. But yeah, just don't, the little steps, and don't have to buy everything. You don't have to deep dive into everything right away. Just enjoy the journey. And as I said, I can't imagine not having curls. I can't. I love having curls. Even on the days it doesn't want to behave, I love my curls.
That is awesome. Lindsey, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your curly wisdom with everyone. 10 years worth of experience. This is amazing. Where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram. I don't have a curly girl channel at all, so I don't have a YouTube channel in that. But
you're an actress.
I'm an actress. But yeah, the Instagram is the fastest way for people to be able to locate me.
All right, guys, you heard her. Open up the description down below if you want to hang out with Lindsey some more. We will have all of her information linked down there. And thank you so much, Lindsey, for coming on and hanging out with us.
Oh, thanks, Courtney. It was so much fun. Thanks for having me.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with us. Comment down below. Is your hair similar to Lindsey's? Have you been noticing the similar struggles that your hair doesn't necessarily fit into the mold of what most people experience? As always, I hope y'all are having an absolutely fantastic day. Make sure that y'all are subscribed because we have just a few more of these curly girl interviews, and you, trust me, don't want to miss them. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.